The editor, and Pat Keane, the sports editor, up there with Joanne Coleman, whose classical dream has done it in real style. Here's Tom.
Well, so much to look forward to at Punchestown this week, including at 5:30 today, our feature worth €177,000 to the winner, the Champion Chase, the Grade 1, sponsored by Ball Sports, represented by this gentleman, Leon Blanche. Always good to see you. Which way will you steer us? What's the market doing ahead of our feature today? Big money on offer.
Yeah, great money on offer, €300,000 in the prize fund, but it's a very quiet market, to be fair. Main is 7-4 on, hasn't really budged. I thought his best performance of his career was at Aintree. He was electric. He was very disappointing at Cheltenham. More positive tactics maybe suited him in Liverpool. But then you've got Undeso, the ever young and effervescent 22-time winner, Undeso.
Not only that, the winner of this race 12 months ago, in a contest where favourites in recent years have got a dismal record. No winning favourite since 2013, Leon.
Yeah, we'll be hoping that can continue, Tom. That's why we're bookmakers. But Undeso, to be fair, he was electric here 12 months ago. The scenes from the O'Connell family in the parade ring were something to behold. Patrick, of course, riding it for his dad, Willie. And then you've also got the headbanger, that is Great Field. He's fallen the last twice. He'll probably set off at a pace that's just crazy for anyone to watch. But it sets it up maybe for Undeso to follow him and maybe Ruby to follow Undeso. I don't envisage Willie Mullins not winning the race, but I'm hoping Undeso can do it. And I think every bit of rain that falls will just help his chances.
Ifs and buts and maybes. Moving on, what else on the card has caught your eye? What's being backed?
Well, I think the Novice Chase at 6:40 is a fantastic race. We've got Delta Work, who's favourite, 6-4 at the moment. But you look at the calibre of opposition to Delta Work, and I think if we're going to get one favourite beaten, he's probably the most likely one, in my opinion. I think you look at Gettybird, going right-handed, stepping up to 3 miles, hasn't run since Limerick when he should have won only for that last fence mistake. And Discorama, I'd love it for Paul Nolan. He ran such a blinder in the 4 mile at Cheltenham. I think every bit of rain that falls will help him, because it is going to be a test here at Punchestown. And I'd love it for Paul and Brian Cooper. But it's a fantastic race. And of course, Henry de Bromhead, a plus-tard, stepping into Grade 1 company after an effortless victory at the Cheltenham Festival. Who knows what will happen, Tom?
Good to see you as ever. Sally Ann, who have you found?
Well, ahead of our next race down here in the pre-parade, I'm joined by Joseph O'Brien. And Joseph, you have Canito in this race, and he was an impressive maiden winner at Naas earlier in the year, but he looks still quite unexposed.
Yeah, he is, Sally. He's a nice horse. He won his maiden very well. Disappointed us a little bit in a conditions race afterwards, but he steps into Handicap company today, and we think he's on a workable mark, and hopefully he can run well.
Looking at him going round here, he's quite a big French type of horse. He's quite a big angular horse. He looks like he still needs to fill out a little bit, probably. Yeah, he's a big strapping horse. He's only a 4-year-old, and he's probably a horse that will maybe be able to go chasing next season. But yeah, he's a lovely big horse, and hopefully he can run well. There's great prize money on offer, and it'd be great to get a portion of it. Best of luck, Joseph.
Thanks, Ali.
The runners for our first race, second race at the Killashee Handicap Hurdle. The first we get a look at is the favourite, and this is Canito. Canito, trained by Joseph. We heard all about him, his handicap debut. JJ Slevin rides him. Good winner, 5-length winner at Naas back in January, and finished 5th behind Band of Outlaws, his stable companion next time. 5-1 favourite.
Horse 6 is Build Me Up Buttercup.
Build Me Up.
Yeah, Build Me Up Buttercup. Ruby rides this. Disappointing the last day. It beat a long ways behind Honeysuckle in the Grade 1 at Punchestown. No middleways at Cheltenham, and no match for Felix Zay here. Has to find a fair bit now. 6-1's a skimpy enough all price about him.
Horse said his ran a time. Henry de Bromhead for David Mullins was second the last day in Clonmel. Has a bit more to find, to be honest, off the back of that run, but a consistent type.
La Saralita, another of Willie's runners we're going to look at here, a daughter of Marteline, and Danny Mullins rides this lady. She's a 13-2 shot, and she was a good third last time out behind Soul Pretender at Ballinrobe. That was only a few days ago, 10 days ago or a little bit more. Ran at Cheltenham, didn't cut in the ice behind Band of Outlaws in the Fred Winter. 13-2.
13 is Belargus. Nick Gifford's runner here, a bit like what Nicky Henderson said, probably on his way back home for a summer's rest in Martinstown. Wouldn't mind going down there myself for a summer's rest. He beat Zafar and beat the Jungle at Ascot last time up and did it well, but that was back in January. Hasn't run since. Not too badly treated. 4-year-old there with a handy enough weight, a rate of 125. He could surprise a few.
Horse 5 is Santa Simone for Mark Walsh, and Willie Mullins ran only all right the last day in Fair. He has pulled up the time before that. A good second though at Christmas time in Leopardstown. Where's a Hood, and 10 to 1's a skimpy enough price, I'd say, as well about him.
We'll catch up down at the start, but we can join Brian now.
14 runners, Robert, for this Killashee handicap hurdle. €60,000 in prize money. Half of the field are making their handicap debuts. Let's look at a full show of betting. Always a competitive heat. Won last year by True Self, who subsequently became a black type performer on the flat. The likes of Low Sun ran in this race last year. And there'll be plenty of winners come out of this contest as you head towards Galway. Yes, I've mentioned it. The Galway Festival at the end of July. Canito is your market leader at 5 to 1 for Joseph O'Brien. One of what? 1, 2, 3 in the race for JP McManus. Number 6, Build Me Up Buttercup, wasn't in the same league as that good filly last week. Of course, Honeysuckle at the Fairyhouse Festival. This might be more her task at 6 to 1. La Staralita is 6 to 1. 13 to 2, Rhea Time from an opening chalk of 7 to 1. 8 to 1, Cosmos Moon, and also 8 to 1, Belargus, Tom, the son of Authoride.
Yes, indeed. 2 names I'll draw your attention to. Number 8, Rhea Time. You flagged up this theme of half of these, pretty much, making their handicap debut. One of them is the grey by Alnamix, this Rhea Time, who, potentially on a favourable mark, has been backed 13 to 2 from 8 to 1. And the other one is La Sorrelita, the filly, right down the bottom there for Danny Mullins, the 4-year-old, in the tongue tie. Ran quite well the last day at Ballinrobe, has run in a handicap before, one of which was the Fred Winter, which, of course, even more competitive than this at the Cheltenham Festival. Building experience, no weight, excellent jockey, in form, popular in the market.
That was 10 to 1 this morning, so there is good each-way support for that.
Yeah, and it's exactly the kind of race where you're looking for that kind of value, something 6 to 1 from 10 to 1. La Sorrelita might very well be one that fits the bill. It is hard, it is open, and the market movers numbers 8 and 14, Brian.
Canito behind Band of Outlaws in the Fred Winter. I think Canito, watching him win at Naas and how well he ran behind Band of Outlaws at 5 to 1 is, I think, better value than La Saralito at 6 to 1. 5 to 1. I can't see him out of the first 4 each way.
I thought at a long price Matushka might be interesting, wearing blinkers for the first time. He was a pretty good juvenile, and Jack Kennedy rides him. Hasn't shown up much of late, but maybe the blinkers will switch him on. He ran at Fairyhouse in a big handicap and finished 20 lengths or so behind Ivanovic Gorbachev, and he ran at Cheltenham in one of the big handicaps there as well. He's been in all the big handicaps, but his day will come, wearing blinkers for the first time today. Here's Sally Ann.
Yes, Robert, thanks. Joined by Henry de Bromhead now ahead of our next race. And Henry, you've 2 in this race representing you.
Yeah, we have. We've got Jan Matt and Rhea Time, so both have nice bits of form. So hoping for good runs.
Which would you have a preference to? I know every time I ask you, we always have the same discussion. You don't like picking between them, but what would your preference be?
Once again, I'm not going to give you, I think they both have chances. Both have some very good runs in the book, and if they produce their best form, they'd both have chances, yeah. I'm
going to keep asking. One of these days, you're going to pick one of them over the other.
Possibly.
Best of luck, Henry. Thanks. Thank you, Henry. Thanks for waiting.
Yes, horses at the start for the Killashee Handicap Hurdle. If you've just joined us, we saw a breathtaking display from Classical Dream between 5 and 6 to 1 for next year's champion hurdle. That was very impressive. Following up at Supreme Novice Hurdle Demolition Job, you can see Canito for Joseph O'Brien as their Odessa course in the 1,000 guineas at Newmarket in the weekend. 9 to 2, Canito, number 11 in your paper. 6 to 1, Build Me Up Buttercup. 6 to 1, Rhea Time. Also 6 to 1, La Saralita. And it's 8 to 1, Cosmo Moon. You've been following the exchanges, Tom. Any threads that might point us in the direction of the winner?
Yeah, certainly advantage Henry de Bromhead in terms of the market positives. Both of his runners, Raya Time, he mentioned just momentarily there, and number 12, Jan Matt, in the hands of the effervescent, brilliant Rachel Blackmore, nicked in from 12 into 12 to 1, I should say, from 16 to 1. Drifter for you is number 5, interestingly, Sancta Simona, who is mentioned by a couple of tipsters in today's trade paper, but drifting here on the track. 7 to 1 this morning, showing at 10 to 1 on the majority of bookies boards here at Punchestown.
Rachel, of course, won this race last year on True Self. That was a 12 to 1 shot, and she rides Jan Matt, number 12, for the Trumore man, Henry de Bromhead.
Number of these making their handicap debuts. Dolciana Dici, one of them, and Build Me Up Buttercup, another. Sancta Simona. The handicapper does a good job. He obviously his requirement is to try and get them all to finish in a straight line. That doesn't happen, but we've seen some mighty competitive handicaps, and with half a dozen of these or so, including Canito, the favourite, also making his handicap debut. So he's judged him on what he's seen so far.
This horse in front that's going to make the running for David Mullins has a good high cruising speed. He won a ladies bumper actually with Liz Lawler down in Killarney. Absolutely sluiced up and got sold on from them from then at the Cheltenham sale to Roger Brookhouse. But he's a great cruising speed, this horse in front. And
yeah, and he liked Punchestown because he got beat at Navan in a few places with an uphill finish. But if he would just spit it out a little bit, they have a hood on him. He just runs with the choke out, doesn't give his rider a great chance. Rachel rode him on a few occasions there, and he just grabs a hold of it, and he's just doing more than he should be doing.
He was with Sam Curling. He's a son of Alnamix, and Sam has an Alnamix in the Goffs Land Rover later on. So obviously he likes them. Here they go. Here's Richard.
That's it, they're racing for this, the Killashee Handicap Hurdle, a Grade B contest over 2 miles, and as they make their way on towards flight number 1, it's the 2 greys and the light blue silks, the Sorolita and Raya Time, who lead them out over flight number 1. Early back markers, they clear the first is Man of Plenty. So now, taking over the lead towards the inside is Raya Time, with La Sorolita sitting in second. Third grey, Jan Matt is third. Cosmos Moon is towards the inside in 4. They're being followed over on the near side by Dolciana Dici. And just in behind this one is Machuca in the first Jigenstown silks towards the inside. Behind these is Cognito, and further back Build Me Up Buttercup is tucked in on the rail. Belargus is just outside this one. Pearl of the West in the diamonds is wider again, the black and white jacket. Sancta Simona last but one, and Man of Plenty is last of all. So they're all safely out over flight number 2 and making their way up now towards the top turn into the back side of the track. And out in front it is Raya Time. Has decent form behind City Island, and also Animix as being chased. In second spot is La Sorolita. Danny Mullins aboard this one for Willie, bidding for a double. They're being followed in third, the black and yellow quarter jacket, that's Cosmos Moon. Sean Flanagan aboard for Noel Meade as they take the descent towards the outside as they come down the hill and make their way on towards the flight before the turn into the back straight. Out in front, Raya Time continues to go along in front under David Mullins. From in second spot is La Sorolita, Danny Mullins. Cosmos Moon, Sean Flanagan is third, and they're being followed in fourth by Jan Matt. Rachel Blackmore won this race last year on True Self for Willie Mullins. She's aboard Jan Matt here for Henry de Bromhead as they land over that one, and they're being chased by Pearl of the West for John McConnell and Robert Power. Just in behind this one is Machuca, Jack Kennedy aboard for Gordon Elliott, and they're being followed towards the inside by Cognito, JJ Slevin aboard for Joseph O'Brien as they turn now to make their way into the back straight towards the back of the field is Belargus. Slippers Madden aboard for Nick Gifford, and the other UK challenger towards the outside of this one is Man of Plenty, the mount of Conor Brace, who recently took the 17-year-old recently took the Scottish champion hurdle. Trailing back to the back of the field, Sancta Simona is towards the back. Mark Walsh being followed by Dolciana Dici in the colours of the Grand National third. Acapella Bourgeois just beginning to tail off now is Build Me Up Buttercup. Ruby Walsh's double doesn't look likely. Heading now towards the first of the 2 flights across the far side of the track. Less than a mile to race. Flight 5 coming up, and it's Raya Time from in second spot. La Sorolita as they land out over that one. They're being chased back in third by Cosmos Moon. Right up on this one's outside Jan Matt, then a break to Pearl of the West and Machuca. Belargus is next with Cognito, and they're being followed, and the Build Me Up Buttercup's being pulled up at the back as they take the final one along the back straight now and begin the turn that's going to bring them down along the side of the track. And it's still Riot Time who's going to lead them into the bend. From on the outside, La Sorolita goes well up to join. They're being chased back in third, towards the inside by Cosmos Moon, towards the outside by Jan Matt, and they're being followed by Pearl of the West, who's improving. Towards the inside, Machuca. They're being chased by Canito and Belargos. The two McManus Silks keep close company. Sancta Simona, the one at the back that's dropped right out and is out of it. When they land over this, they'll have just over half a mile to race, and out over it, Riot Time leads them over, being followed on the outside by La Sorolita, who still goes well. Jan Matt, Pearl of the West and Cosmos Moon all give chase. Then towards the outside, Belargos is ridden in the red cap. Just inside is Canito. This is the flight before the turn in, and it's Riot Time with La Sorolita for company. They're being chased by Pearl of the West, who's trying to get on terms. Just in behind this one, Jan Matt. Cosmos Moon has lost position. Belargos is on the outside of Canito. Machuca's not out of it. Towards the inside, Dolciano Dici is ridden, and Man of Plenty's last of all. They swing in, Plenty with chances, one to jump, and leading them in as they begin to make their way towards the final flight. La Sorolita has taken over the lead. Pearl of the West coming to challenge on the outside. Machuca's gone into third. Cosmos Moon is trying to stay on behind them, and then Man of Plenty as they make their way on now. It is out in front. Pearl of the West who has the advantage, with on the inside La Sorolita trying to challenge, but Pearl of the West has gone to the front for Robert Power. Ears prick, Plenty in the tank as they make their way up towards the line. It is Pearl of the West who's been driven clear. Cosmos Moon, the one who's trying to come from the pack. Pearl of the West with Cosmos Moon trying to stay on. Man of Plenty stays on late, but Pearl of the West has the advantage up towards the line. Going to take it for Robert Power and John McConnell. Cosmos Moon is second. Back in third is Man of Plenty, Machuca, then La Sorolita with Dolciano Dici and Jan Matt in front of Canito, and they were followed in further back by the long-time leader Riot Time. Belargos was the final finisher, but this one went to number 4 on your card. It is Pearl of the West, trained by John McConnell, ridden by Robert Power, owned by Derek Cairns, a graduate of Martin Cullinan down in Galway, and a daughter of Teofilo.
She's a good mare, isn't she, Pearl of the West? And well done, Robbie Power. He absolutely pounced in the straight, and he was never going to get beat once he arrived on the shoulder of the leader there, La Sorolita. Ted, were you impressed? Won it well?
Done it well, didn't he, Kate?
Yeah, he did. I thought he was good. Puppy gave him a great ride when he got there. You see his two ears were pricked. I thought Danny Mullins was going to be I thought Danny Mullins was going to be a big danger for a while, but Puppy gave this mare a great ride. She got there, she loads in the tank, couple of fast finishers. Cosmo Moon there for Nomi, Sean Flanagan, and the other one was Man of Plenty as well, but she got there. Look at her 2 ears, she's loads in the tank, she's only doing what she has to do. John McConnell does a great job with these horses. He's handy enough numbers, but when he produces some of these in these handicap hurdles, they're definitely ones to watch anyway.
Sally Ann with connections.
Yes, Ted, with Robbie Power, and we're just going to start walking in, Robbie, but she's some mare. She really was very impressive today.
Yeah, she was. I mean, she ran in a very good Scottish champion hurdle in her last run, and they probably cut her short a little bit, so John was adamant today to drop her in a little bit, and it's really worked for her, you know. She's a good mare in her day.
Yeah, she looked at the last day, just didn't go her way, but she seems to be just getting better with each run.
Yeah, she is, and John's horses are in fantastic form as well, so it all helps.
Well done, Puppy. And we'll just grab a word, Declan, if we follow around this way, we'll grab a word with John McConnell, because he's actually just ahead of us. John, we'll grab a word with him as well. And John's going to have a word with us. John, I said to you when you walked up, I said she won that well.
Yeah, brilliant. Listen, she was a little bit disappointed in air, but you know, it was a very good race and maybe quicker ground, and so we decided to have a crack at this. We changed tactics. You know, she's been making it all, and it's very hard to make it in these handicap hurdles and keep it up. So I just said to the owner, if we try this, it might work, you know. And Robbie gave her a brilliant ride, and she's been an absolute superstar for me. She's so genuine and tough, and always gives her best. So we're just thrilled, especially my local track.
I was just about to say, important for you to have a winner here at your local track.
Yeah, like I remember when the schools used to close for us to come here when I was a little while ago now, but you know, it's 5 minutes from my home, so it's absolutely brilliant.
We're delighted for you. Well done, John. We'll let you go in for the photos.
Yeah, John is from the Green Lane. Anyone around this area know it well enough. He used to live in Fishery Lane when his mother and father got married. First of all, he's in the Green Lane now outside Naas on the road to Kilcullen. As I said, 5 minutes from the track. Danny Mullins was travelling really well at this stage on La Saralita, but didn't find anything off. It looked like having Ray at time, who quit rightly before he faced up altogether. That's probably his worst run. He hasn't run any sort of race. And Puppy just appears there with the white cap with the spots on it. A couple coming from off the pack that run on well is Cosmos for Sean Flanagan. He came home well, Cosmos Moon. And on the outside, Man of Plenty, we can't see him the shot in a few moments. But Puppy's horses run well. Ears prick going to the last. Has a look at it, pops it well. Fine rider, Puppy, whether you're taking his time or whether we saw him at Ferryhouse there making the running on jets. He's a great horseman, a great rider. He's a good individual as well too. But I'm sure his old man and Mags are happy with the way he's performed over the years, and he's won well there. Cosmos Moon runs well, and so does Man of Plenty. But anything that was handy seemed to cut out before they turned in. It obviously a little bit easier to ground than you think.
Ted, you mentioned Ray at time there. What do you do next? I mean, they put a hood on and he's still really free. Where do you go with
I'd
the
say
horse?
they're going to have to drop him in, are they? It looks.
But how can you? How can
you'd have to do something, because you give a horse every chance. Like, look at Felix Dejay in the last race. Like, he bowled along there in front, loop in the rain, lovely and settled. He wears a hood. This horse is just going the other way. He's not getting there. He's running rank. He's burning everything up, using everything up. You could see David, he was trying to get away from the lads as well, but he was never going to settle. And he's going to be the type of horse now that you're going to have to get him stuck up the backside of something else and try and get him to switch off. Because if you don't switch off, you don't win.
No, even if you're making the running, if your choke was out, you're still not going to win. But he's with a good man in Henry, and he's probably at the end of the season as well too. He's had a few hard races, making it there at Navan and Clonmel and that. That's not his true running. He's a better horse than that. And I'd say with the summer's grass now and freshened up and get out of his system, he'll settle. They'll get him in. Anyone will get him to a tune out will be Henry de Bromhead. He's handled more difficult horses than Ray at time.
Well done, Sophie Leach. She made the trip over and takes home nice prize money for Man of Plenty finishing third. Lots of prize money on offer all through the 5 days. Some terrifically valuable races, and all the handicaps worth winning too. Everything worth winning. Good local success, always popular. The Killer Sheed will be doing big business all through the week, just round the corner from here.
Everywhere I'll be doing big business all through the week. If you want to head into any night, I'll tell you what, there'll be a lot of shapes being
Killer Sheed was at school for a very long time, wasn't it? And
yeah, I was in school actually.
Were you there?
In Killashee, yeah. I went from Nace Primary School to Killashee for a couple of years, and then ended up in St Mary's in Nace. But yeah, I was the same as John. St Mary's. Jennifer was in St Mary's as well. Used to close for half days. It doesn't happen anymore.
Did you spend the time looking out the window, dreaming of riding horses?
No, I was head in the books, Robert. You know.
I'd say you were.
Absolutely. Without doubt, head in the books. No, definitely not. I had a great time in Killashee actually. All the O'Reillys were there, Harry O'Reilly and all the gang, and yeah, it was good fun. But ended up back in St Mary's. It's a whole to tell now. Obviously, back then it was run by nuns, but it was a good school, and it's great crack.
Well done, you did well. They turned you out good. Here's the confirmation of this Killashee Handicap hurdle.
Jockeys or jockey?
West. Our 12-to-1 winner, Cosmos Moon, is runner-up, 1 3/4 lengths the distance between 1 and 2, and 3/4 of a length back was Man of Plenty at 16-to-1, and the beaten favourite was number 11, Canito, at 5-to-1.
He was disappointing as well too. He was beat before he left the backstretch, Canito.
Ruby was disappointing as well.
Yeah, she ran no race, made a few mistakes, spilled me up on her cup, and she was gone when he pulled her up. But it's a long season. The horses either mid-head of form. When they go off this time of the year, they go as cold as a stone. They'd wonder what happened to them, but they're just gone flat.
Just tell me about our next race now, because we've got two very special horses. I always thought that Underso was one of the most exciting young horses I'd ever seen. They curbed his exuberance to a level very successfully, because he loved it going out in front and with the choke out. He still likes it out in front, and Min was so good out in front at Aintree. I mean, who's going to make the running? And is that going to be...
It's a great field.
It's a great field. They'll make the running.
Yeah.
And over the first couple anyway.
And will that upset anybody?
I don't think so. I mean, Min doesn't have to make it, and Underso doesn't have to make it anymore. I mean, they'll both bowl along. It's only 6 or 7 runners. They'll have plenty of room. I'd say they'll go a real good gallop. And I'd say it won't upset anybody.
Great field. In fact, the only times he's stayed on his feet, he's fallen twice, I think, but he's won all his other starts.
He's won here as well, and Jody McGarvey gets on great with him, you know what I mean? He wears his heart in his sleeve, this horse, but when he stands up, he's some performer. Like, he's got a huge engine, and Jody got a horrible fall off him in Cork actually the last day, and was out for a while, and this is the first time they'll be reunited again, so I hope it's a good spin round and a successful one for him.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's our next one.
Good spin round there for Robbie Power aboard Pearl of the West, who takes our 4.55 the Killashee Handicap Hurdle by a length and a quarter, 12-1 the odds of reward. That stable in really good form at the moment. John McConnell, he had a really good winner at Perth on Wednesday in the hands of Richard Johnson. On this occasion, it's Robbie Power who guides home a 12-1 success for the Stummerland stable. Second 10, Cosmo's Moon at 7-1, and third for Britain, number 9, Man of Plenty for the Sophie Leachyard at 16-1. Time now for us to take a short break via the thoughts of one of our riders in the upcoming Grade 1 Champion Chase. Who did Sally Ann manage to round up?
Looking ahead to our feature race today, I'm now joined by one of the jockeys in that race, Jody McGarvey. And Jody, you'll be on great field for Willie Mullins. And he came into this season unbeaten, but it hasn't really gone to plan so far this season.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a stop-start year this year. He had a great novice campaign. He won 5 out of 5, but he tipped up early in Cork in the hilly way, and then he came back to Leopardstown at Christmas, and he was a bit unlucky. He got in under the last, and he fell again. So it's probably not ideal coming here in the back of 2 falls. But all in all, he can be a pretty sound jumper. So he wouldn't be worried about that side of things. So just hoping he can put it up to them today.
He's only run here once before, and that was when he won the Grade 1, so he has a good record around Punchestown. But it should be fairly fast and furious out there today, with Min and Undeso also wanting to make it, just like your fella does.
Yeah, look, there's only 6 runners, but three of them can go hard from the front. Min made all in Aintree, and Undeso won this race last year, making all from the front. And sure, my lad's done nothing bar make it, so we're going lickety split down to the first. So what happens after that, when the race settles down, then we'll all get our party then and just see what way we're going.
It'll be fast and furious to watch at home anyway. Best of luck to you, Jody.
Cheers, thanks very much.